my Instagram.
Hmm.
Yeah, you should see it now.
Okay, cool. Oh, this is working. I love it. I'm excited.
Yeah, we're running a little late. It's oddly enough, there's nobody in here yet.
No, we're here. I got a few people on Instagram. Hi, you guys.
What's going on, everybody? What's going on?
I'm loving
So
it.
we'll give everybody a little bit of time to pop in. Um let me see. 1 second.
No, you're good. Hi, you guys. Hi, Kay. I see Mike here. Tia's here. Hello. Okay, all my photography people are here too. This is so good. I'm excited. Y'all, stick around. We have a lot of good stuff to talk about. We're going to be, of course, talking about Bokeh Academy. Okay, checking in from Louisiana. Hello from Louisiana. Hey. Okay, all the people are in here. I'm excited. I love
That's what's up.
I love it.
And I'm on the Instagram side, because they're on your Instagram side.
Yes.
We're gonna be taking a lot of questions and comments and stuff, guys. On if we can actually get you on the StreamMate side, that way we can see the questions. We will be giving away a free seat to the Bokeh Photo Summit today,
Oh,
and we compile those names based on the amount of comments and stuff that we get, the amount of engagement that we get from the audience. So as you start to ask those questions and drop those comments in, then I'm able to put your names inside of the system, and we do a random drawing. So we do it, on all of the webinars. So we appreciate you all joining us for today. Thank you so much, Megan, for making yourself available, and thank you for being a part of the Boca Photo Summit. It's funny because I think you are, no, you and maybe one other instructor are the only two that I've absolutely never met at
really?
all.
Yeah.
Never met, name never came across throughout this whole process. So again, we thank you for your time and coming out.
I'm happy to be here. I'm excited. This is amazing. And I think I'm like, you're right. I'm so surprised because Atlanta, especially the photography community here, is so small that I feel
Yeah,
like
it's really
I'm
small.
always meeting people or always meeting like other new photographers. Like, and there's so many dope photographers here too. So that makes me even more excited and even happier that we're even doing something like this in Atlanta. Because I know we have PPA, we have WPPI, like so many major conferences. But you have to fly all the way out to Vegas or something like that. So if
Mhm.
you are Atlanta photographer, make sure you tap in because this is going to be something really special. And I know it's really unique because there wasn't a lot of this when I was first getting started. So I'm
Right.
happy. I'm happy that this is coming together.
Yeah, yeah. No, it's amazing. Like it's definitely been a feat, right? Going through that process of putting on this conference. But I tell people all the time, PPA is based here, in Atlanta. I have a great relationship with PPA. I love them, right? But we don't have a conference here. PPA hasn't been back here. They don't have any plans to come back here, at least that I know of. So I took it upon myself. Who better than I to bring a conference back to Atlanta? Being fortunate enough to be a speaker at all of the other conferences in the other states, but we have an awesome community right here in Atlanta of creatives.
Community.
No conference, no camera store. Like we just got a camera store in I heard there's one in Lenox now.
What? Wait,
Yeah, I
what's
heard
this called?
yeah, I heard there's one in Lenox now. So that
Wait,
that
what's it
is,
called? I want to know.
I have no idea. So that's definitely something to kind of like Google here. But yeah, most definitely. We do have a camera store now inside of the Lenox Mall.
I love it. I love it. I'm super excited. That's awesome. I didn't know that. And that's crazy to think about because I know we have Aperture Rent here. We have excuse me, my eyes are watering. We have Aperture Rent here. We have
PPR.
are, but like those are rental houses. But now having an
Right.
actual store, that's going to be incredible. Because you're right, we
Yeah.
do have such a large community here. Like I have an organization called Black Girl Shoot, If you are here, you're on the chat box. Hey, you guys. But those girls is evidence, drew evidence to me that okay, it's much bigger than that. So now you're pulling the education piece is going to be so incredible.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, again, like we have, yeah, the movie studios, all of this production and stuff that goes on here, but Eric is saying broadcast hub K8's, K8's is more so just opening a retail situation. It's not too far from me, but it's not a camera store. It's not a B&H. It's not a Sammy's. It's not a Pixel. You can't really go in and like touch the gear and kind of get to know it like we used to be able to do back when Showcase was around. So, you know,
Yeah.
um, that's why I'm super excited. That's another reason I should say I'm super excited for the Bokeh Summit because Pixel Connection will be on site. They will have some gear and stuff on site for you all to be able to purchase. And all of the attendees is going to get a $50 credit to Pixel Connection too, if I'm not mistaken. So,
Love it.
come in, get your education on,
I love it.
and have an opportunity to, mix and mingle with a great community of photographers that's looking at to help each other kind of push forward. Oh,
Uh,
broadcast hub. That is the one inside of Linux. Okay, got it. Got it. Yeah, that's what Eric is saying.
oh, that's awesome. I'm gonna go check them out. I thought Broadcast Hub was a. Oh, never mind. That is true. That is the camera store. I think I have seen that before.
You
Hmm.
got it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I let's go ahead and get started because I don't want to take up too much of your time. We're still waiting on more people to come in on this side. Looks like both of our Instagrams are more inundated with people than the actual live stream itself. So the comments and stuff, you'll have to drop the comments and you have to kind of direct me on the comments on your side because I can't see them.
Of
And
course.
then that way we can get those names and stuff, put them inside of the system, and do that free giveaway to the Boca Photo Summit at the end of the live chat. So let's kick it off. Let's let the people know more about you because even I don't know a ton about you. I'm actually still waiting on a bio, by the way.
It's coming. I promise. I'm gonna get that over to you today. I apologize.
So just kind of give the audience a little bit of idea about who you are and how you got into photography.
Absolutely, absolutely. So, how did I get into photography and a little bit about me? Well, my name is Mecca. I am an Atlanta-based brand photographer. And honestly, I never knew that I was gonna start doing photography until realistically I was in college. Not to say it somewhat fell into my lap. I was always into cameras, but I had my mindset on being a film director. And the reason why is because I love the idea of storytelling, creating movie. I mean, yeah, cinematic things and just telling life stories. However, what I quickly realized was doing that through film and doing that through television. What I kept running into is that you needed an entire team, a production, all those things. And not to say you don't need that in photography, but when I discovered I found photography when I was in college, I realized I can make movies in minutes. And tell stories to people and through just me and one other person, and you just craft an entire, you can convey an entire story through that. And people can interpret it so many different ways, and I thought that was so beautiful. So my that's where my love for it started, and then slowly but surely COVID came around, and I graduated college and COVID came around, and I was like, whoa. It was you thought you were going to be doing one thing and totally it shifted into another. So I said I have nothing but I'm great at this thing, and I'm going to take this seriously, and I really wanted to go full fledged on it. And since then I have been. I've built an amazing book of clients, amazing people I love working with, and now I'm teaching other people how to do what I do, building a successful, sustainable business from doing something you actually love is the most important part. And for me, that's come through the branding space and helping other business owners because I know what it is like building a business, and that's also not easy either. Um,
Right.
But overcoming the challenges of doing that has drawn me closer towards, or has geared me towards wanting to work with more business owners even more, which got me into the branding space as well. And so that's why I'm like in the branding space or having a focus there, because my love for marketing and building businesses, and you know it's all bridging as a gap into one. So I'm trying to give the story short without going too long, but really that's honestly it in a lump sum of where I came from, where I'm at now. And yeah, we're here.
So tell me why, like, how did you land specifically on branding? As a matter of fact, let's take it a step back. Was there anything that you started to do beforehand and was like, pivot, and then landed on branding, or how did you end up, specifically at branding?
I love it. A great question. So prior to starting my photography business, I was actually in sales and marketing, or more specifically sales. And at the time, I don't know how many of you guys believe in God, but I feel like God is very intentional about every
Very.
single season that He has you in life. And when I was in that season of being in sales, I was like, I hate it here. I was like, why am I here? I don't really want to be doing this anymore. I was like, this is not fun. However, I didn't realize it in the moment. It's like you're learning lessons in certain seasons that you don't realize until you look back at it. You're like, oh, God had a plan this entire time. But during that season, I was learning about building systems. I was learning about marketing, and I was learning about how to do sales, all these different things, and understanding the lingo behind it, understanding the structure and what went into it. That helped me to speak my client's language. So now when I'm talking to my clients and I'm understanding their wants and their needs, of 9 times out of 10, any business owner, service or product based business owner, your main goal is to create more sales. Your main goal is to build brand awareness. Your main goal is to get your name out there and further it even more. So noticing that and bridging that gap helped me significantly. And now working with my clients, now I can just speak their language because that's the world that had came from originally.
Right.
Um, and then bridging that gap between my love for fashion photography, it helped me to create what I tell my students is, instead of just niching down and putting it, feeling like you need to put yourself in a box, you find two different things. You find your who and you find your how you go about doing it. Your who is who you serve, and that's the person. So that person is best going to correlate to who you are as a person. And for me, that was, my knack for understanding sales, marketing, and all those things along the way. And that's going to be tailored to the business owner, and even more specific than that, Black female business owners. And then my style, which is really colorful, contrasty fashion photography. That was my style originally before, when I first started, and just focusing on the artistry. And then you're bridging those two gaps together, and now you have your who and your how you go about doing that. And I still don't like calling it a niche, but for lack of better words, that's how I discovered it or found it.
That's what's up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen kind of the pivot of people into the branding space, over the years, people that were doing weddings, and then eventually it was like, all right, cool, yeah, I'm gonna go get into branding. And truthfully, as a wedding photographer, I do very well as a wedding photographer, like,
Yes.
price wise or whatever. But people are generally pretty shocked to know that I do really well with portrait sessions. I shoot about 100 portrait sessions a year.
Yes.
My sales average for portrait sessions is, rather nice. So I'm able to do well. And it's, when you look at the math, sometimes you like, I spent 8 hours, 10 hours at this wedding, you know what I'm saying? And I made X amount of dollars, but then I spent 2 hours with this client and I did X amount of dollars. Had I done that same amount, I could just extrapolate that and, just do all portraits, which for me, when I'm doing portraits, it's maternity and boudoir. It's the majority of the portraits and stuff that I do. Very rarely do I do anything branding related, right? um but it's it's fun and it's a lot less stressful, you know what I'm saying, than an actual wedding. But I do have an affinity for weddings. I love that process or whatever. But I've had fellow wedding photographers who are like, nah, I'm good. I'm going straight branding, or I'm going like maternity. I like the marriage of them all. Um, so I'm never in this place that kind of uh I get I get bored,
Yeah,
But yeah, I
that's
mean that's what's up, man. That's pretty dope. And then it sounds like you got there like right before COVID hit, and then being able to like push through that is is great. So I see a couple questions popping up on my side, but I do want to ask a question because I'm sure it'll be very useful for a lot of people.
yeah.
And how how did you push through the COVID situation? I'm not sure how long before COVID you started, but how did you just push through everything that was going on with COVID, like all of the setbacks and stuff, in order to be able to continue to grow your business to where you are now?
So better yet, so I'm being honest with you. So COVID, I would like to say called 2019 or really 2020 was my what I call my rookie year.
Hmm.
Um, and realistically, I was just getting my feet wet with the business, and I didn't realize it wasn't as apparent to me at the beginning of 2020 or 2020 how much money was actually in this space.
Hmm.
So when I was like, yeah, when I was in 2020, that was my rookie year. I was like averaging maybe $500 to $1,000 a month in my business, and that was all I needed to have that aha moment to be like, oh, wait a minute, this could actually be a business. It was small at the time, but I'm telling this is like a word of encouragement for you, for anybody on this call listening. Have vision, and I think that was the main thing that I think I had was just vision to see more for what this could be than what was like presented to me at the time. So yes, that's first things first. I had vision my rookie year. 2021 was what I consider my decision year. That was the first year where I was like, okay, I'm done being scared. I'm done halfway, one step foot in, one foot out in this business or in this space. And I was like, okay, July 2021, I said I'm gonna go full time and I'm gonna go all in on this. And in that season, the last 4 months of my business, I made over $50,000 in my business, and my mind was blown. And except you said what challenges and how did I overcome those set challenges? Well, during that year, I was all excited and I was like, yay, I made all this money. However, that following year, come 2022, it was what I considered my burnt out year. So I gave all these years a label because these are very important seasons. But 2022 ended up being my burnt out year. I hated photography. I was honestly ready to quit. I wanted to put my camera away. However, what I then later realized was even though I had some kind of foundation, I didn't
Hmm.
know how to apply it to my photography business at the time. So being burnt out came from that was the biggest challenge I had ever faced, and I think that's the biggest challenge a lot of photographers face is just dealing with being burnt out and not knowing how to overcome that. So in that season, I realized I was burnt out because I didn't have systems in place for photography specifically. I didn't have structure. I didn't have a focus. I didn't have all these things in place. And so obviously, if you're just playing a game where I was playing a game where I was just taking anything that came my way, being burnt out came really quickly. And overcoming, how did I ultimately overcome that? Was I stopped just only focusing on investing in things that are going to just grow and scale my photography knowledge and my technical skills, but also build my business skills. And I think that's a big piece of it. Is like I started this business just to simply be an artist, not realizing that in order to you're also building a business. So I did my due diligence on investing in coaching, mentorship, anything that was business related as far as like marketing goes, how to best create systems, how to create sales funnels, all those things under the sun that was going to help me structure out my business
Right.
and ultimately developing a focus that was going to enable me to really, yeah, at the end of the day, build and have intentionally work with work with my clients and build a sustainable like business that's fit for me. Was how I ultimately overcame all those problems, and so from there on, it's been good and up from here. But yeah,
Yeah,
that's
that's
it
what's
in a nutshell. Sorry, these are long, drawn out answers, but I have to be
yeah,
real.
it's good. Like it's good to be able to have the information. I think a lot of people just don't understand. Like I've been a photographer for 9 years now, and I was able to come in, and there were things that I was able to do rather quickly. But I also came over with a particular set of skills, right, that helped me to be able to kind of excel in certain areas faster, like my knowledge of web development and SEO and stuff. So I was ranking for weddings before I ever shot my first wedding, right? So just being able to have that kind of stuff in place kind of helped catapult everything else in terms of being profitable right out of the gate. I used to work in music prior, so I had savings or whatever. So I wasn't in a position where I had to take the lesser jobs, just because I needed to take them to be able to survive. That's why I tell people all the time. They're like, "Oh, I want to quit my day job and become a full-time photographer." And I'm like, "Why? Like that's not the flex. It's not the flex. Making money is the flex. But when you're in a situation where you're like, I'm only relying on this income, right? And the
Mm.
income is not coming, then now you have this battle between I need to pay my bills and your ego to decide whether or not you're going to lower your rates, whether you're going to cut prices, things of that nature or whatever. So it's good to be able to show people that there is a journey to it. Like you spoke about the burnout year. We all have that burnout year or multiple burnout years, because I know 2019 was an amazing year for me, and I know 2019 I could have set it all on fire at that point. Like I was burnt, and that was year 4 for me, but I was doing a lot of shooting, I was doing a lot of traveling. At the time I had another business as well, so I'm burning the candle at both ends, right? So it was just a lot to be able to manage there. So do you have any questions inside of your Instagram before I tackle the ones that we have here on screen?
No, people are just loving the conversation as of now. So no one's asking any particular questions yet. But you guys let me know if y'all do have some questions. Drop them in the comment section below. If y'all been here before, y'all already know I'm an open book, as open as
Right.
it
Because
is.
again, this is how we're compiling the names for the people that we're gonna do. They're gonna enter into the giveaway.
Yeah.
Now, on my Instagram, as well as in the chat, we have a couple people that are asking about. Well, actually, I just realized it's two different things. So on this chat, Alexis is asking what system do you shoot? So like, what brand of camera and everything do you shoot?
Um. Wait, oh, okay. What systems do I shoot? Okay, I shoot Sony. I'm sorry, I heard systems. So I thought she meant system. Yeah. Um. Yes, I shoot everything. I shoot Sony.
Sony shooter. Okay. What
Sony girl, love her.
Sony shooters chime in. I make fun of y'all all the time. I gotta be difficult, but Sony shooters chime in.
Always don't
Um,
hate on us. They always don't hate on us. Don't worry, y'all.
now on J Banks, yeah, y'all, yeah. Let's see. On this side, someone's asking. It's just an Instagram name, but it's asking what systems did you develop over time? So
Mm.
the other systems, the important systems.
The most important ones. So the biggest thing for me, one, I feel like HoneyBook is the start, or having your CRM is just the start. I think that's the foundation of everything else. But beyond your CRM, finding the reoccurring questions, the reoccurring tasks that I was doing in my business and creating systems for those. So my top 3 ones was one, how I produce leads or get new leads into my business, and how I manage those new leads. That was one system for that I have, and that's basically my inquiry form to consult call systems or that I have in place. And then how I once that my leads are in my business, then how I go about making them my client. When they are my client, how do I go about my client flow system? So that goes from what it is from HoneyBook to our pre-planning session to how we execute the photo shoot to the end. But that is going to be very long and drawn out if I go through that entire thing. So what I will just say is make sure you tap in at the Bokeh Summit, Bokeh Academy Photo Summit, and we can go over it in all of detail. But the foundation of everything else is that you need a CRM, point blank period.
Definitely
CRM.
CRM.
What you do after that is going to build upon, but your very first foundation of everything else is just simply getting a CRM. If you're on here, I know it's not supposed to be a business chat, but this is what I tell my students all the time. Get off of don't process your payments or anything through Cash App, Zelle, all those things, because you want to be able to connect with leads, clients, all those different things on a consistent basis, and collect data and all these different pieces of information. So that's why you want to have like a system of managing those things. So, but yes, like I said, yeah, make sure you tap in with the summit. Yes.
So, you mentioned HoneyBook earlier, or whatever. Is that what you're using as your primary system, or you use this? Okay.
Yes, Honeybook, they need to. I'm still gonna put this out there. Honeybook sponsor me because the way I promote them is crazy.
Right. That's that's just the phone call for sure. That's just the phone call. Let's
Well, I
see.
have one question over here. So someone wanted to say, can you give a short spill of the Bokeh Academy and what are the benefits of attending?
What's their name so I could drop them on this list real quick?
Soiree Magazine, SOIREE underscore magazine.
Got it.
Mhm.
So for those who aren't familiar with Bokeh Academy, I started Bokeh Academy. Like the premise of Bokeh Academy started from day one when I became a photographer. Education was always the goal. The online channels of being able to help educate a group of people, because I was already doing e-learning inside of the music space when I worked in the music industry. So pivoted industries, and I was pivoting the educational thing, right? But also in that, as I was learning to become a photographer, um, I I was I was looking for people that I could learn from, particular styles and stuff that I wanted to learn how to do. And at the time, you on YouTube, the content just wasn't there, right? The type of stuff that I wanted to shoot, you never saw those examples. It was all the old guys who were online, who had content online for years, and it just didn't resonate with me, right? So, and the online courses and stuff that were available at the time were not people of color at all. So I was like, you know what? Once I get a foundation, I'm going to start a platform that's going to be instructors of color primarily, and shooting the type of content that I want to shoot. Now, fast forward, now I'm a wedding photographer. I'm in the space. I'm shooting these weddings, and my barometer for what a wedding was like at the time, in terms of what was good, because that was the stuff that was being published, was the knot, right? Which, I'm not making fun of the knot, but especially the knot then versus the type of content that they're putting out there now, it's nowhere near the stuff that I shoot. And you take that a step further. You go to conferences, you do these photo walks, you do all of this learning, this education, but it was never anything that kind of resonated with me. I am a photographer who shoots more luxury style content, right? From the weddings that I shoot, even the maternity sessions that I shoot. I have maternity clients that might come in and drop $3,000 or $4,000 on floral decor just for the session, on top of my session fee, on top of products and that sort of thing. There's no other place in this industry where you're going to get that type of training, that type of opportunity to be able to add those types of images to your portfolio. Um, so even for those who have been a part of the journey and kind of seeing how things are going, I'm literally decorating a 4,000 square foot ballroom just to teach a reception lighting class, right? But I know the challenges as a photographer who wants to shoot more luxe weddings. That market is heavily dominated by wedding planners, in terms of, yeah, book this person, no, don't book that person. And one of the key factors, or the main key factor, is whether or not people can shoot decor. Well, if you haven't had the opportunity to learn how to shoot decor or be able to add that stuff to your portfolio, how do you break in? How do you know how does somebody know that you're capable of providing a service if you've never had the opportunity to do that? I was fortunate enough early on to be able to, oh, I want to do maternity sessions. I would spend the money to create the decor myself, to put out the product that I wanted, to be able to attract the clients that I wanted, right? Most people are not fortunate enough to be able to do that. Most people just won't go that far. They don't want that risk. Oh, I'm going to spend that money and it's not going to end up coming back to me or whatever. So even in everything that we're doing at Bokeh Photo Summit, it's to help people not only just excel as photographers, but also elevate their portfolios to attract those more discerning clients who are gonna want that type of look and feel and aesthetic. So that's what my goal is with this, is to elevate what we're doing in the photography industry in terms of education, getting away from just standard, off camera flash 1 2 3, the very bare bones basic, because there's enough of that, right? But at some point you need to graduate past that, and there's no place for you to graduate to, and that's what the Boca Photo Summit is.
I love it. I love it. This is gonna be so exciting. I'm excited. I can't wait to take your class or pop into your class if I can. That's gonna be great.
Yeah, let's see what we got here. I got any more questions on that side before I pull up some of the ones here.
Yeah, I see some in the chat box.
All right, cool. So on our chat on this side, what's your favorite lens? Eric is asking.
I am a 70 to two, or oh my God. I have a 70 to 200. I love her. She's amazing, but I am a 24 to 70 girly through and through.
2047.
I
Okay.
love her. I love her. Some people may say it's dated, but I'm definitely a 24 to 70 girly. She's definitely my go-to. Thank you
Got
for
it.
not gatekeeping. I love
It's-
it. Somebody said thank you
it's-
for not gatekeeping.
it's-
Um, Alexis actually asked, "So, what is my talk/workshop about at Bokeh Academy?" Hi, Alexis. How are you? Thanks for asking such a great question. So, at the academy, I'm going to be talking about brand lighting specifically. So, for anybody wanting to get into branding, but you don't know just not what your clients are needing or wanting specifically, I'm going to be doing a whole photo walk discussing and specifying that, going over key shots that you should be implementing and should be getting at every single one of your photo shoots. And if you do have questions as far as like how to break into the branding photography spaces on the business side, I would be more than happy to answer those questions for you as well.
So someone was asking on this side, is the Boca Summit going to be live? So for let's see, there's some of y'all who just don't know, but the Boca Photo Summit is an in-person photography conference going to be held here in Atlanta, August the 12th through the 14th. We're putting on an amazing show, amazing lineup of speakers, very diverse in terms of topic and everything under the sun. Like, the goal again is to be able to help you all excel as photographers, and learn from who I feel are some of the best in what it is that they're doing. I didn't do a speaker call for Boca Photo Summit. I reached out to people who I'd been paying attention to, kind of keeping an eye on throughout time, and then contacted those people directly. So you may see some people here, for instance, like Mecca, who haven't been on the lineups at like the WPPIs and the imagings and all of that stuff like that, right? But that's because I personally sought them out and reached out and said, "Hey, I like what it is that you're doing. I would like you to come and be on this platform to be able to help push the industry forward." So if you haven't gotten your ticket yet, you can use code Mecca to receive $100 off of your registration, um, and come and hang out with us and have a good time. We got a lot of really great events and stuff like that going on around this summit. So, and we have a 4th of July promo that's going on right now. So use code Independence. You can take advantage of that 4th of July special that we have going on right now. What do you have on your side, Mecca? Question
I love
wise.
it. We have the comments are going. So um so it says, as an upcoming photographer, when's it good to start charging for your clients? Um And then someone else said, "Oh, is there a line?" A lot of people have been asking about the lineup for the speakers, so I'm gonna jump the gun and say it's on the website, correct?
Yeah, I'll you can go ahead and answer that question. I'll pull this up really quickly and then just have it on tap.
Absolutely. So, real quickly, a short answer on when is a good idea to start charging for your clients. I say start charging right away. Personally, the sooner you start, the more you build a muscle because charging is it's building. For me, it was for everybody. It's not for me. It was building a muscle. And the more you build that muscle, the more you can ask for more. So, meaning like, hey, as your work gets better, then you see yourself progressing, then you can obviously continue to charge more and the trickle effect just keeps going and going. So that's a short answer, like the best way I can answer that right now.
Yeah, I would agree. I say charge from the beginning. Like I remember early on, like hearing people speak about what to charge. Oh, as a wedding photographer, you start off your job, it's $500, whatever, whatever. That's cool. All right. Which I'm not even mad at, right? If I'm being completely honest with you. But I think that on our side as wedding, photographers, especially with it being attached to such a large one-time event that you don't want to screw up, do as much second shooting as humanly possible. That's the one thing I wish I had done beforehand. And it wasn't that I didn't. It was that I would hit people up, be like, yo, let me just come hold a light, hold a bag or whatever. Like I just want to observe, right? And people wouldn't give me that opportunity to do so, right? Because I wasn't looking to get paid. I think that's a lot of issues that people have too. They're like, oh, I want to come in and be a second shooter, but you don't understand what it takes to be a second shooter. Like you're not the second photographer, you're the cover my ass photographer. You know what I'm saying? Because if I get held up somewhere, you have to take control of that. If I'm on the
Mhm.
way and something happens to me, you have to take control of that. So you can't just be some newbie photographer who doesn't know, what it is that they're doing and say, oh, I want to come in and, second shoot, pay me $100 an hour. Get the hell out of here. I got people that like second shooters or third shooters really. I have third shooters that I've had come in and every photo is blurry. Like obviously blurry or super soft in some manner. You need to learn what it is that you're doing first before you go in and like, just think that I'm about to just hit the ground running. I bought this camera. I got me a Sony that I can take up to 12,500 ISO, and I'm about to like, no, it doesn't work like that. So, you know, definitely learn the craft, get as much training as possible. But once you start charging, I mean, once you get to a point where you can create consistent work or whatever, definitely be charging for sure.
Absolutely. 100%. 100%. Awesome. I'm so excited. I'm so excited. Who was that? I hope that answered your question. Who was that? Justin Perk. I hope that answered your question.
So
Um, Everyone else though, a lot of people were asking about the lineup. So that's really great. So yes, you guys, if you are on my Instagram live, then yes, please go to bokehacademy.com/summit and you'll see all the speakers there and you can see it's amazing lineup. Oh, we got Leslie Andrews in the building. I'm so excited. Um, this was so awesome. Thank you for having me on this call. I appreciate you always. And thank you for having me a part of the Bokeh Summit. I mean, I know this is going to be a Bokeh Academy Summit, so I know it's going to be amazing, amazing, amazing. And yes, you guys, if you're on here listening in, make sure you tune into the branding session. I'm excited.
So yeah, let me see. Randy is asking, what kind of workflow do you use to create for your clients? Is it structured or free flowing?
I read that question. I really wasn't sure on what you meant. So is he saying, let me go back to it. What kind of workflow do you use to create your client's brand? No, it's very structured. So that's one that I hate. I'm not a gatekeeper. I hate that. But that part is definitely structured. I do have a framework that I share with my clients that we go over together and that we cover in our strategy calls, where we go over each different look that is specified to their brand, or that ties in their brand to my specific framework. So yes, it is structured.
Got it. And if you need some follow up on that question, be sure to chime in, Randy. Let me see what should talk about. We got that one. Mecca, I jumped in a little, Nate. Not sure if you answered this, but what do you primarily shoot? Jay Banks, he primarily shoots branding photography. We kind of went through that.
Thank you, sis.
Um, let's see, it's branding fashion mostly. Oh yeah, Alexis, she jumped in. Let me go back to more questions because we had some chime in. Any on your side in your chat?
Yes, Alexis asks, do I make mood boards, or is it a whole branding deck? So a little bit of both. So we primarily focus on doing more so of a branding deck because we cover all things as far regarding shot list, location, hair, makeup, all the details into one to make sure my clients have a full game plan before the photo shoot. So which will incorporate the mood board. So yes, that's why I say a little bit of both. I hope that answers your question.
So tell us, I mean, I know we're gonna get way more in depth into it during your session at Bokeh Summit, right? Which is on lighting for brand photography. Are there like particular lighting setups that you go to for particular situations, or like tell us a little bit about that without giving out too much information?
No, no, I love it. So this is why another thing I love talking about. So I just hosted a lighting 101. Um, and my approach to lighting is ultimately problem solving. Well, first things first, one, I do have my go-to 3 light setup, which I think is absolutely amazing. My clients eat this up. I call it my money-making light setup. So make sure if y'all want to learn what that is, I'm not gonna tell you exactly, but if y'all want to know what this 3 light setup is, make sure you're at the Bokeh Academy summit. But otherwise, when I'm not doing that 3 light setup, I work a lot in multi-set studios. So my daily challenge when it comes to photography is that I don't have a home studio base. So I'm always at a peer space location, a multi-set. I'm very rarely outdoors, but in most cases, I'm at some sort of multi-set studio, and not all are built the exact same. But I used to hate it. However, once again, God being super intentional about every single circumstance that you're in presents a different level of challenge to overcome. So with that, I've learned to adjust whether you need a 1 light setup, a 2 light setup, whether you can't fit, whether if I cannot fit my 3 light go to 3 light setup, how do I adjust? And that's what I think photography really is, especially what lighting really is learning how to adjust yourself to certain situations and being able to accommodate it all, or not at all, but accommodate most of it. And so yes, so that's what I want to, the primary thing that I'll be discussing during that during my session is how to really adjust more than anything. Yes, go to light setups, but what I want to teach photographers more than anything else is not just how to learn my light setup, not just how to learn how to shoot like Mecca. I want you to shoot like Alexis. I want you to shoot like Jay Banks, shoot like Kayla, shoot like how you are, but knowing how to make it both quality and, adjusting and being able to mold yourself to certain environments and still get amazing, great shots from it that your clients are going to absolutely love.
So this hasn't been asked yet, but do you like what lighting brand do you use?
Oh, I'm a Godox girl.
Godox.
I love a girl.
Oh snap! Do you prefer? Do you have a preference of like soft boxes versus umbrellas? A mix of both?
I actually mix both. So I use both a softbox. I use a softbox. Umbrellas is my main workhorse, and then obviously I do incorporate soft boxes and my soft boxes in strip boxes in the rest remaining of my setups. But definitely umbrellas is probably my if I had like one modifier that I could only have for my entire life, probably umbrella with a diffusion though.
Umbrella
It
with
can't
diffusion.
it can't just be
Yeah.
yeah. Yes.
Yeah,
Jay Banks, hey
definitely.
twin. He said it's my twin because he said we go out to Sony. I love you, Jay Banks, but I'm thinking switch over to Ellen Chrome soon. Sorry, but we're
Ellen,
twins right now.
Marvin said, "Why do you like umbrellas the most?"
I didn't originally like umbrellas the most. However, for the space that I'm currently in, when I'm working with umbrellas, I do find it to be very versatile. Meaning the fact that one, if I wanted a big bright light from one single light source, I'm going to be able to get that. However, if I want it feathered and I want to create shadows on one side of the face, I can turn my light enough to whether I can be able to feather that light and create enough shadows to where the light is still soft and illuminating my subject just enough while still creating interest through the shadows. Um, and then honestly, I can fold it up. Fold it up is lightweight. When you're breaking down, I don't like to call myself lazy. Not lazy, but I don't like to overcomplicate things. I'm sorry. I gotta say it. I'm still a soft girly at heart, and I just don't like things to be overcomplicated. So when I'm creating, setting up lights, yeah, I'm willing to put up three, or four more lights. But with my umbrella, it's just click, put the diffuser on, and we're done. Not the but with all my soft boxes, I got to do the click, 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 click this, click that,
Oh
put,
no, that's
and I was just like,
that's why you got to. That's why you got to change. You got to get the Westcott soft boxes. They're
that
umbrella
too.
style, so they just pop in and pop out, and you are good to go. You
Exactly.
know.
So that's why I said I'm switching. I'm but to become I'm gonna become an Ellen Chrome Westcott girly very soon because the more I value convenience and efficiency, and not working so hard to execute something is that's where I'm like, all right, I'm willing to spend just a little bit more money, a little bit more. But in the
Yeah, most, most definitely.
yeah,
You
yeah.
said in the meantime, what?
In the meantime, I'm gonna be enjoying my being an umbrella girly. Yeah. J Banks, I love umbrellas. I'll bring soft boxes to my shoot so my clients can be like, oh hey, you're professional, all this stuff. And he said I pop my umbrella right on. I love it. That's so true. That got be true. Yeah.
Yeah, man. So tell us a little bit about um do you do you change your lighting setup at all um based on a particular client and what their overall
Mm.
need is, or tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely will. In regards to, let's say, if they're wanting, like, I shot a campaign recently. I'm not allowed to share my screen, am I?
Yeah, you should be able to see a share at the bottom.
Do a present mode?
Yeah, present.
Because the best way I can do it is just to share and show, or show and tell. Um, for example, so let's see, present slides, share screen. Love it. Well, I need to have two monitors to do that.
No, it'll just pop up. It should pop up here for me, and then I can put it up there.
Okay, here we go. Nope, we're good to go. Nope, I can't. It's not letting me. Um, it's saying that I need to like give it permission. Sorry, this is a brand new laptop that I just got recently. So I
Mm,
have to like everything I'm having to re-give permission to. But for an example, I shot a campaign for a client. She wanted a 70s retro, nostalgic looking shoot for her. She has a line of foot care products. She's a nail tech. And that was a magnum reflector, a contrasty magnum reflector set up two backlights as a magnum reflector illuminating the entire product with a big softbox in front of it just to give it softness to the products. And while we're incorporating feet into the product with the feet with the product versus when I'm shooting my client, if you go on my main page, you'll see what I'm talking about, or my Instagram page, you'll see what I'm talking about. My typical clients, it's that really bright, contrasty, super sharp branding look. Those are going to be definitely two different light setups, or two significantly different light setups. But once again, like I was saying earlier, just knowing how to adjust to every scenario, every situation, and just being the ultimate problem solver is the main thing. It's just always knowing how to just acclimate yourself to any situation.
Nice, nice. And do you have like a particular uh editing style,
Mm.
for your images? Tell us a little bit about that.
So my particular editing style. So once again, my biggest thing is efficiency and systems. So systems. After that burnt out year, and I'm gonna get into that. I'm gonna get into the editing part. But after my burnt out year, it was all about creating systems in every aspect of my business, and that boiled down to even how I do go about editing. So when I'm editing as well, my from my retouching all the way to color adjustments, everything is down to presets that I personally created for myself to create a certain level of consistency in the body of work that I do. Usually that consists of sharpening my images, obviously playing around with my curves to create my distinct styles and how I particularly like things.
Mhm.
And I mean, I can go through my my preset of every single setting on there. I don't know if that will bore you guys or not, but I am definitely like when it comes boil down to editing, I simplify it. Like I'm not the editing guru by any means because I'm not the one who likes to spend hours behind the computer. I'm more so focused on building my business than I is I'm out of the phase of working in my business oh so much and more so wanting to put more of an emphasis on working on it. And so with that came creating presets and creating systems as far as editing goes to speed up those processes and make it as efficient as possible. So I hope that answered your question. I don't know because I'm like I'm not a gatekeeper, but I'm just being honest. And I don't overcomplicate it.
That's funny. On your Instagram, are there any questions in there? Or are we just
No,
gonna
none are coming through over here. No.
Okay, cool. Because again, people, this is how we're entering the names into the giveaway. We only have There's roughly been about 9 questions, or 9 unique questions rather. Um, and otherwise, it's only going to be 9 people in there for this giveaway. But
Perfect.
Alexis is asking, how do you vet your clients? That's a really good one.
Perfect. Perfect. Awesome. So I'm going to answer Alexa's question, but I do have a hard stop because I have to go one more place before the day is over.
No
Um,
problem.
but how do I vet my clients? So I don't personally need to vet my clients as far as like I don't vet clients as much. I just don't receive bad inquiries, if that makes sense. um like I don't know how to say that, but vetting clients. So if obviously my when you submit an inquiry form with me, when you look at my website originally, it gives an idea of what the baseline budget needs to be before we start working together. So if you can't meet that baseline budget, then most people are not submitting inquiries with me if you're not meeting that baseline requirement. Another thing, project basis. So as far as like birthdays, things of that nature, if it doesn't fit in a line as far as something that I'm open to shooting, willing to shoot, then I just probably would just say no. But at the phase where I'm at in my business, I don't really receive that many inquiries, and that doesn't fit into that criteria. So I hope that makes sense. Question for Andre: what's your skincare routine? I love it. We need to know the answers. We need to know right.
Ignore Marvin.
You
We
look
just ignore
magical
Marvin.
today. It's crazy.
Right, right. Anyway, Marvin, we have a hard stop. Mecca has things to do. We got started a little bit late because I was running a little behind. But we're actually gonna go ahead. Yeah, Alexis, Marvin causing trouble as always, right? But we're gonna go ahead and do our giveaway. So I'm gonna bring the little name meter here to the stage, and we're just gonna let it go. And
Oh, I'm
whoever
excited. Who's gonna win?
Who's gonna win? Who's gonna win? Looks like it's gonna be Eric.
Eric.
Eric,
Oh,
Eric,
let's go.
are you still in here, Eric? Quick little countdown, because if not, y'all saw last week. We remove real quickly here. Eric, are you here?
Come on, Eric. Comment.
Right.
It's
We
your
about
time to
to
shine.
three, two, one. Sorry, Eric. Oh, he must have left us. Who else we got in here? Marvin. We know Marvin is in here, but we know Marvin is attending. So Marvin, you could feel free to gift that to somebody else. Just reach out to me and let me know. But thank you, Mecca, for your time. Thank you for joining us. Thank you to your audience, even though I can't see everybody, right? But thank
Of
you all for
course.
chiming in. I hope that you all will decide to
Oh
come in.
no, I
Huh?
think Eric just said he was here. He said,
Where's
"Oh,
he at?
my last second."
Oh, message me, Eric. Message me.
Okay.
Message me, Eric. But yeah, we'll have to, reconvene, get another opportunity to be able to like chat stuff later on at some point. But thank you again for joining me today, and
Of
I appreciate
course. Of course, of course. And you guys, don't forget, if you are on my Instagram live, don't forget, use code Mecca if you're interested in coming to Bokeh Academy. That gives them a percent off. Am I correct?
you. Yeah, it's $100 off for registration.
Perfect. $100 off on registration. Please use code Mecca. I will see you guys there if you are already got your ticket. And yeah. All right, you guys. I'm
All right,
off.
guys, y'all have a good one. Later.
Bye.